Let's assume that the universe originated from an infinitely dense point, as evidenced by the cosmic microwave background. Okay, but infinite relative to what? The answer must be compared to its polar opposite, or an infinite void of absolute nothingness. But why would this source origin go to so much trouble to rise up from this nothingness? Surely it would be far easier just to remain in its original state for all eternity. However, that would imply it has no potential to be more than nothing. But we know for sure that there is some degree of this potential. Proof is all around us, but how much of this potential is there? Well, if the source of the universe is infinite, then this potential must also be infinite. However, this infinite potential has two natural directions, positive and negative, negatively toward absolute nothingness and positively toward the polar opposite of nothing. This natural positive and negative interactivity creates the positive and negative forces of nature that settles into physical matter running through time. Therefore, before the beginning of our universe, the potential to distinguish between these two diametrically opposite sides must have always existed. While it is conceivable that nothing had ever materialized before our universe began, the possibility for all creation to emerge was a latent potential poised, ready to unfold. However, if the source of the universe is infinite, one might wonder why every conceivable possibility doesn't occur. Why do untold potentials remain unrealized? Or why do the laws of nature confine the ultimate source to finite manifestations? But to be everything means being nothing specific. So, without finitely self-organizing, the universe could only remain in a non-physical or non-creative state. But this is not becoming more than nothing. So it must foster some bounded structure or limiting form in order to unfold its infinite potential. Consequently, the necessity for time, space, and energetic effects. This is why it is impossible for everything to happen, because everything means nothing specific. This is also why nature abhors a vacuum. To be creatively more than nothing, the source of the universe must be definably less than infinite. So the potential to shape reality exists within a spectrum, ranging from the possibility of nothing to the limitless potential for everything, so long as it is within the framework that we know as causation, or as reality itself. But how does consciousness fit in? From the bottom-up perspective, or by emerging from a complete nothingness, there is a total absence of mindfulness, simply because we are starting from nothing. But the question arises, what about from the top down? Could it be that from this direction, the source of the universe is an incomprehensible infiniteness, forced to comprehend itself as less than infinite in order to become more than nothing? Where else could the laws of nature have come from? And if so, from this top-down perspective, this comprehensibility could be seen as the evolution of a self-realizing or mind-like process. The most highly evolved manifestation of this process, as far as we know, is the human brain. The human brain does far more than regulate the nervous system. It, of course, serves as the center of thought. Thinking is a facet of the brain, yet beyond mere thought lies the observer within, the deep-seated awareness of the thoughts themselves. If this evolution of awareness is seen as top-down rather than bottom-up, then could this be part of the self-realization of the ultimate source of the universe? As naturally as physical matter, could awareness be the ultimate source focused down to specifics? If so, awareness is also a fundamental aspect of the universe's evolution towards self-realizing. This profoundly immersive process continues as the natural unfolding of the infinite source is refined into a focused awareness and the perceived notion of separation. But like all other elements in this evolution of creation, individual consciousness is a facet of how the ultimate source is unfolding as more than nothing. So, how can we understand the difference between the forces of nature and the life force? Well, if the evolution of the universe is contemplated top-down as well as the scientific view of bottom-up, then the self-realizing aspect, or the life force, makes more sense. Perhaps this life force is necessary for the ultimate source to become truly self-known.